What's up, Thrashers? Welcome back once again to the Thrash Maniac 99 YouTube channel, and I am back with yet another album review, and this is the only review I am doing for the weekend of November 8th, because when you're seeing this review, I am on vacation, and I actually had a promo version of this album sent to me via email, so I figured I'd actually check it out and listen to it and review it for you guys. I am talking about the debut offering from Earthburner, Permanent Dawn. This came out on November 8th on M Theory Audio, and like I said, this is their first album. Now, Earthburner is essentially a band that one Jeremy Wagner from Broken Hope formed after the breakup of Broken Hope back in 2001. And this is the first full-length release. They did have an EP, I think it was in 2012, and that was with a slightly different lineup. But that project pretty much went dormant once Broken Hope got back together in 2012 and have been going ever since. Granted, we haven't had any new material in 7 years, which I'm still hoping. Jeremy, I hope you're watching this. Please, we need new Broken Hope in 2025. But, regardless, we got this Earthburner album, which I was curious about this, considering this is a death grind album, essentially. Like, it's definitely got a good balance between death metal and grindcore, and it's somewhat a supergroup, kind of, because you have both Jeremy and Mike Michek from Broken Hope, Mike on drums, Jeremy on guitar, Jeremy Wagner's stepson, Tyler Affinito, on bass, and then for vocals, they got Devin Swank from Sangwa Sugabog to do the vocals, and, you know what, I might as well throw it out there, there's another lead vocalist on here, Mitch Harris from Napalm Death. And, of course, we get 11 tracks. It clocks in at over 21 minutes, so this is, like, mostly grind in terms of, like, the songwriting, but lots of death metal peppered in. The opening track, Necrodesiac, which, that is an awesome title. There should be a band called Necrodesiac. If there's not, I'm taking it. Yeah, right off the rip, you get this gritty guitar tone, grisly bass line, and then it's just like grindcore vocals from Devin. Like, they're death metal, but not to his lower register that you hear him do and sang with Sugabog. And what's interesting about this track, features guest vocals from one Ross Stolen from Immolation. And Ross shows up on here and just barks an evil roar on here, which is really cool. Musically, largely it's like tremolos and blasts. You get a lot of cool groove, and dare I say the breakdowns, like no solos, it's just primarily breakdowns. Most of these breakdowns are quite fucking nasty. Some of the best breakdowns I've heard in quite a little bit. Then it goes from one of the longer tracks to the shortest track at about 35 seconds, Like Dogs. Starts off mostly, this is more so death thrash, like it's thrashy, but there's awesome, like, nasty low-end tremolos. And I gotta say, the bass lines that pop up across the board on here were really grisly and nasty. Like, the bass tone kind of reminds me of something you would hear from, like, Repulsion or early Napalm Death, like that grisly, grindy bass tone. With this song, plenty of blasts and tremolos, and this is where Mitch Harris first comes in on vocals, and he's mostly, like, backing Devin up by doing his signature high shrill that you hear him do on Napalm Death tracks, which is just, like, just nasty. Then you get into the song Broken Head, and this song, for the most part, with the riffs and the groove, definitely reminds me a lot of Broken Hope, which I wouldn't have been shocked if there were Broken Hope moments on here, considering this is Jeremy Wagner we're talking about. He's an underrated riff lord. And there are some really cool, like, Broken Hope-esque riffs and grooves on here. Now, again, pretty much all across the album, awesome blast beats and death metal tremolos that feel in line with bands like Broken Hope, Cannibal Corpse, maybe even Morbid Angel, like those kind of nasty low-end raw tremolo riffs. And the blasts kind of are very wide-ranging. Like, there's like super fast blasts, there's like galloping blasts. It's just all over the map. And as well as like the thrash influence that comes up on here a lot is really cool. The song Facelift, I'll just go ahead and say Facelift and Perception for Profit. Both of these songs feel like the most punky songs on here. Like the riffs and the beats, very, very punky. Definitely geared towards like very early Napalm Death, like Scum in particular, or even like the Hatred Surge demo in '85. Fits more in line with that than anything else. Of course, you do get some chugs, some breakdowns on Facelift, and as with Perception for Profit, you do get some like double time stuff on there, which is not something that pops up on the rest of the album. The title track, Mitch just comes in full swing, full sway with his big scream, and this is again more so thrashy, but with those death metal moments. And of course, it's just disgusting. And then there's even like a really cool punky moment that shows up at the end. Uncreation, largely it's like a short death metal song with a lumbering groove that comes in. Cadaver Coprophagia, this is an awesome title in itself, and kind of similar to the title track where it's just largely thrashy, tremolo, blast heavy. There's even like a really cool, like, I don't know if I would call it a punky gallop, but a gallop nonetheless. Hunger Pains, which is the longest track of the album at just nearly 3 minutes. And again, it's like, I would say this is like the most top to bottom death metal song on here. Like, it's just death metal blasts, tremolos, groove. There's some more thrash again. Hell, it even gets into slam parts. Like the breakdown at the end, it just gets slower and slower to the point of a slam. And then you get to, I think, the first single, Slaves to the Screen. This one, again, kind of similar to Broken Head. There's some Broken Hope riffs and thrashy moments on there, a galloping groove. There's even some like really cool atonal moments with the guitars. And then you get to the closing track, which is actually a pretty cool cover of Corrosion of Conformity's Positive Outlook, which is off of their first album, Eye for an Eye, which, yeah, maybe not the best COC album, but they do a pretty cool job on this cover. It's like really the main difference is it's more raw and there's blasts and like screamy, like growled vocals. But it was still a pretty cool way to end this album. So, yeah, song-wise, for as short and compact as they are, they were fun and energetic. Like, Jeremy definitely has a passion for grindcore, and it definitely shows. Granted, I would say there's more in the way in terms of songwriting, more towards death metal with the riffs and the blasts, but just happened to be done in a grindcore format, so kind of similar to bands like Terrorizer and Azsuck, for example. Really, the only complaint I had about this, and it's largely due to the version that I listened to, which was a digital version, that was actually mastered by Mike Fuller, where Scott Creekmore, formerly of Broken Hope, he actually does the mastering on the analog version. So I listened to the digital version. Perhaps there's a difference between it and the analog version, because I will say it's very bassy in the production with the digital version. Maybe with the analog version, it's better. So I'm not going to completely judge the album on the production because I listened to a different version. I listened to a version that was sent to me via email, whereas probably on CD or vinyl or what have you, it probably sounds a little bit better. So I'm not going to completely derail my rating because of that, just because of circumstance. So overall, for a grind album for the most part, or not really for the most part, but a grind-esque album, I thought this was fun. I'm actually going to give this 4 out of 5. This was fun. It was kind of catchy a little bit. Like, there was some catchy tremolos that showed up on here, and of course the breakdowns are just disgusting. So I would say if you are a fan of like death grind bands like Terrorizer, Azsuck, maybe even some like Broken Hope and Sanguisugabog, Napalm Death, check this out. But of course, those are just my opinions. What did you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Thank you for watching. Keep your horns high and your dreams wet.
Thank you for your patronage.